Welcome. I am just making all the things on my computer not ding because they love to interrupt me. So we're here today to discuss what is happening with the tribe next. This was actually something that we were going to talk to you guys about after One Percenters was over so that we could focus on one thing at a time. But apparently nobody wants that except us. So we're addressing it now. And we want to talk to you about what we see for the tribe in the future, or what we see for you, especially if One Percenters is not for you. And we're going to discuss that on this call. And then we're literally going to go down all the comments on the tribe and answer them one by one. Okay. First, before we start, Chris, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I have lots of things to say. When do I ever not have anything to say? That is very true. Okay, I think one of the biggest things that I would like to address and obviously we'll see this as you go through the comments, and we'll see them. I'm sure we'll address them there. Is that lots of people have come back and said, with One Percenters, I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to teach a course. And at absolutely no stage have we said that that's what One Percenters is. And so I'm just really wanting to address that to everyone and say it's not on the sales page. At no point have we said that we're going to teach you how to teach a course, because that would... Respectfully to that does feel icky to me anyway. And no, that's not what One Percenters is about. One Percenters is about encouraging you and your business and taking your business as far as it can. That has nothing to do with a course. You don't have to
teach a course.
And if you want to teach a course, we can we can support you on that, and we would encourage that. And we would say, yeah, absolutely. If that's what you want to do, then go for that, and we would provide support with that. But at no stage is One Percenters about us teaching you how to teach a course or us teaching you about how to be a coach. No, it's nothing to do with that at all.
No, it's not. And it's also like, I think somebody left this comment on the tribe. If Etsy is a part of your goal to get to a bigger business where you're making 6-7 figures, then cool. This is your business. I am not telling you how it needs to look or what it needs to have. I have no right to judge what you should and should not want. This is your decision. And I have seen a lot of people with these bigger businesses who use their Etsy shop as a part of that income flow because they love it and they want to have it. One of the greatest examples I can think of, her name is Kara. She has that beautiful bullet journal YouTube channel where she makes a ton of income from YouTube. But if people want to buy the stickers she's using in her bullet journal, she sells them as printables in her Etsy shop. So she's doing a really beautiful job of incorporating the two together and creating that high 6, almost 7-figure business. And I'm not saying that that's the way for you. I'm not saying courses or YouTube are it. I'm just saying we can find that fusion for you. For some of you, that is Etsy, and that involves Etsy. And for some of you, that has nothing to do with Etsy. For me, it has nothing to do with Etsy.
Yeah.
But for you guys, it could. It is your vision that we are creating and working with here, not mine. It's not my job to tell you what to do. You get to decide. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's jump into what the tribe is going to look like in the future. So obviously, we're not going to be creating new content about Etsy. We're not going to be doing broadcast or shop critiques or anything like that, because we're going to be moving on to teaching people how to build their sort of dream business, whatever that looks like for them.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing in One Percenters, and that's what we're going to be doing in the future with all of the content that I personally create. So you might be like, well, then is the tribe just going to fall completely apart? And we do have an idea we wanted to bring to you to say, this was what we were thinking, but you as tribe members should have input on what it looks like, because we want you to build out something that a place you want to be. Like, I know a lot of you have made super amazing friendships in the tribe, and you have a place to go to talk to other people, and you might not have that in your life. And I don't just want to take it away from you because you're not in One Percenters. So
some of those friendships I've developed because as we all know, I joined the tribe, and some of those friends, people I'm still friends with and still speak to on regular occasions, both inside in the tribe and outside the tribe. So I can completely relate to that. Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing I'm super not okay with is having somebody like me run the tribe when I do not have an active Etsy shop and I'm not actively involved in Etsy. There are a zillion other bloggers and influencers you can go to for that if you want that, because I don't understand how this is a thing, but there are endless bloggers who do not have Etsy shops or have not had Etsy shops for 10 plus years that are actively teaching and talking about Etsy. And if you want that, go right ahead and you can find that. But I've never wanted to be that person, nor do I think that that's the right way to go, which is why we are pivoting, because my Etsy shop has been closed for about 9 months. And I'm like, I found something better. I cannot in good conscience teach this while I have this other thing to give that has done so much more for me. So what we were thinking is, instead of me being the center point of the tribe, we were thinking about actually opening up the tribe to existing Etsy sellers. Because if you look in the tribe and you look at comments, you'll see there are people making, 10, 20,000 a month or, 250K plus a year in the tribe. There are people that are photography experts, people who've done photography their whole life. There are people that are SEO experts. There are people that have big social media accounts. And what I would like to do is leverage the existing community that we've created and basically have 2 tribe tiers. One is the tier that you go in where you will get regular tribe stuff, sort of like you're seeing now. But the other one is going to be a higher tier that you can be in, and you can actually teach the courses in the tribe. So here's how it would work. We would pay you. So if you chose to teach a course that month, and there would probably be a limit where you can teach X number of courses per month. And what you could do is you could teach them live like this, or you could make a course, and on approval, we would upload it into the tribe. Obviously, we would vet all content to make sure that it's good and worth watching. So if you opted to teach something, you get paid probably around $100 per pop for everything that you choose to teach. And you could go live like this and just show people how to do something cool. If you're like, here's how to do this cool Pinterest trick, it's getting me a ton of traffic. Here's how I do it. Here's how I set it up. Watch me do it on screen. I'll answer your questions. Super simple. If you chose to do something like that, cool, great. You can do it a certain number of times per month. And you, as an existing Etsy seller, would then be able to support the community around you. I like this because we could have some people in there doing shop critiques. We could have some people in there teaching what they know. We could have some people in there showing you how to do something. Or, we have people who are super organized and really good at creating worksheets. They might want to contribute that to the tribe. Why does it have to be all us? We know how to organize the tribe, so we could keep it organized for you where there's events and stuff, but we would not be contributing content. Other active Etsy sellers would.
Yeah.
That is our proposal for what we're going to do next in the tribe. And it's something that I like because you can choose your tier. The lower tier, you do not get involved. You just get content and the community, basically. The higher tier, you can choose to get involved whenever you want and participate. But the higher tier, we may also give their own text group so they can, talk with each other and have more support. We won't be in that text group other than to moderate, but you'll have it, right? Because the text group in the newest version of the Etsy Success Tribe for the new tribe members has been massively successful and massively helpful for the people who are in it. We do not feel comfortable taking it away from you. So those are kind of your options where you could choose lower tier, just getting the community, or just getting courses and stuff like that as they come out, and whatever these other bigger Etsy sellers are teaching, or skilled. They don't necessarily have to be big Etsy sellers. Like if you're a professional photographer, I obviously want to learn from you. You know what I mean? If you've been doing SEO for who knows how long, I obviously want to learn from you. If you have an email list with over 1,000 people on it, I obviously want to learn from you. Like those are all great things to do. And I think that they will help people out massively. And it gives the community a way to sort of give back and talk to each other. I think a lot of people who are doing Etsy right now have been thinking about getting into teaching Etsy. So this is a great way to dip your foot in the water without having to set up a whole big business around it. You can try it out, right? And get paid for it. So that's kind of what we were thinking about in the tribe that made me able to sleep at night. Because I'm like, I don't just want to keep taking money from people for something I'm not creating. I want to find a way to organize and sort something beautiful and amazing for them that will help them just as much, if not more, than what we're already doing. A lot of people are asking, what happens to the existing courses? If you chose to stay in this new tribe, you would be able to get access to our existing stuff. the same way you have it now. Obviously, if you left the tribe now, you would lose access to that. So it's going to be the same. If you leave the tribe, then you won't have access to any of the courses or any of the stuff. Same for like everybody's paying monthly pretty much. So same thing. If you left, you would lose access. If you stay, you'll keep access. We'll create you a lovely little vault with all of those courses and things in them, in addition to the new things that you're earning, the new content. So that is where we're at with the tribe. Do you see any comments? I think I'm on Twitch, so
I don't see any comments. I don't see any comments here. I don't see
cool.
any comments from my end at the moment.
Please let us know what you think of this and how you feel about it. One of the reasons that we didn't come to you guys with this right away is because we wanted the idea to be crystal clear, and we wanted to have an understanding of how we were going to execute it before we presented it. This is a super fresh idea that we just came up with recently. So it's really not as concrete as it could be. And I don't like to come to people like, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about this, this? Like, I would rather come to you with like, it could work this way and it could be like this. Now I want to take input and modify it as I see fit. So I'm giving you a half-baked idea that we came up with that we think makes a lot of sense for the people who want to stay in the tribe and want to be a part of the community. It also gives people a way to earn money for doing Etsy stuff. Not only that, like earn back the monthly fee that you would be paying to be in the tribe. And maybe even then quite a bit more on top of that for teaching, which is so valuable to others. So that's where we're at. We would love to hear your comments. Please leave them. Please let us know what you're thinking. And while I'm waiting for those comments, I'm going to share my screen and go through each individual comment in the tribe on the page where we announced the My Shop closure and address them one by one, because, I think we owe you guys that for sure.
Yep.
So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I'm just going to stroll down to the comment section. I'm nervous and it's not even my shop. Yeah. This was nerve-wracking. Chris and I are going to speak to this on a later Twitch live stream in the future. But pivoting your business is hard. And we had to work up a decent amount of bravery to do this. And it's still hard. We're still getting, like, people are commenting, but they're not watching videos to see our answers to things. They just want their opinion to be heard, but they don't want to listen to our responses or read even whole emails we've sent fully explaining things. So it's really hard because we're repeating ourselves a lot. But obviously we want people to understand. It's also really hard because people are really angry at us, which sort of confuses me, because I don't know why people would want me to keep teaching something that I know is not, well, it wasn't the best option for me. It didn't work as well for me as other things have. So I would assume that people would want to know about those other things, and not just Etsy. I mean, for me, I've been sick of talking about Etsy for almost 3 years, because as my blog started to grow, I was like, this is so much simpler for me. And I'm not saying a blog is the way to go. There are a million other business models besides e-commerce that work well. I reviewed that in my first Twitch live stream in depth, the different ones that work. And it's not just courses or blogging. So this has been hard. It's been hard to pivot. We've had to be very strong in terms of not getting upset with people, because we understand that change is scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've taken a risk, and we've chosen to take that risk because we think it's better to teach people what we truly believe than to keep touting things that, I mean, we've seen so many Etsy shop failures and problems, even among the people that have made a lot of money. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, because we've seen a lot of success, a lot. This program wouldn't sell if people weren't successful on Etsy and they weren't getting something out of the program. Like, the tribe would never have worked this long if it was not getting people results. But it's hard to look at these big sellers and go, why are your expenses so high? Why are you having so much trouble when you're doing so well? It's so bittersweet to be like, I'm having problems. They're good problems because I'm making a lot of money, but at the same time, I'm not seeing a lot of that money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's hard. And when you go through that repeatedly, which was what I was going through on my Etsy shop, you know, you kind of go to yourself, well, God, I could just work for someone else and it'd be so much easier. But a lot of you are doing this because your worst nightmare is working for somebody else. And that was mine too. And
mine.
Yeah, I don't really want to force people into the box of having to either suffer on Etsy or work for somebody else. So this pivot, yes, back to the question. This pivot has been difficult for us. We have been through all the bad words.
Oh, yeah, we have.
I've lost 5 pounds in a week from the stress. I think, Chris, you called me last night and you were just sick of everything and angry at all of it. And it was like...
I sort of called you last night. I called you last night and I think I was just at that point where I was just like, this, you know, like, I don't understand the abuse we're getting here. This is just insane. And I'm just over it already, sort of thing. So, yeah, there you are.
Yeah. And I mean, at any point we could have said, oh my God, we made a mistake. We're taking it back. But no, that's stupid.
But that's not what we believe, and that's not what and just because and I really want to emphasize that just because this is what we believe and of that we want to show you that there is an easier way. We want to show you there are easier ways and to encourage you and support you and your business. But if you want to stay on Etsy and that's what you want to do, we've had people join the 1%ers who actually still only want to stay on Etsy, who still only want to do that. But they still want the 1%ers because they still want, want our support and they want our help. That's what we're doing. So it's, and at no stage, have we said like Etsy is this horrific platform, on there. We've spoken about
the words. Yeah. We've got a lot of shit for the words Etsy sucks, which was my way of saying Etsy sucks for this thing I'm trying to achieve. I agree it could have been worded better in retrospect. That is the only regret I have this whole time. That was poor wording choice. It is not that way, but I can't go back and take back an email subject line of something that already went out. Like it's too late.
Yeah.
So we're going forward and explaining ourselves. But yeah, I mean, I still very much believe in Etsy as a platform. It got me to the point where I was strong enough to become a brave entrepreneur who was prepared to pivot to what she wanted when she needed it.
Yeah.
It got me to the point where I was capable of understanding the work involved to do what I want to do and make an educated decision about whether I wanted to move or stay. And it also taught me patience I definitely didn't have, stubbornness I definitely didn't have. It taught me how to deal with things I never thought I would ever deal with because I hate them. And it taught me a lot about what I actually like and love in my business and should incorporate every day. There's nothing wrong with Etsy. It's just not, sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. It's just not for me and my goal. Some of you will not feel the same and some of you will agree. But yes, here we go. Okay. Tanya addresses this in a sec, so we're going to move on. I'm looking for clarification on what this means for this group. Will this group still run? Will we have access to the material after the 6-month mark? So normally, if you were a 6-month member, in order to get access to the content, you would have to join again for another 6 months because this is like you get access to the content while you have it because what we found in all our research is if you give people forever access to content, they never use it, never touch it, never look at anything. One thing I want to ask all of you who are watching this right now, how many of our events, our live Etsy course events have you shown up to? We know who shows up every single week. We know if you're there or not. How many replays have you watched? Are you actually using that content? The reason we only make it available for 6 months is because we know if we don't, no one will use it and no one will grow their shop at all. This is the problem with courses, and it's one of the reasons why I fight courses as a whole in general and why 1%ers is not a course. Because people do not complete courses, or if they do, they just keep the info in their head and they never do anything with it. That is not helping your business. That's spending money and literally losing it. So what I will say is this, if you choose to join the tribe that we're going to create you, where people are helping people, and like I said, this is open to interpretation. If you have comments, if you have ideas, leave them. We want to hear what you want as a tribe member. This is the best thing that we came up with that gives you what you want without us compromising our morals and basically telling you, I don't sell on Etsy. Here's a bunch of advice, which I don't like. And I think you guys don't either. It's probably why you're here. So if you choose to join the new tribe, then you will get a course portal and you will get new content from other Etsy sellers who are teaching, even potentially yourself if you choose to teach. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say, I think Becky Gallant has just said I can explain just in the comments here. I'm getting echo here, so I do apologize. But I was just going to say that Becky's actually said I can explain the anger if you like via the comments. Yeah, if you absolutely want to explain what your thought process is in the comments to us, Becky, then please by all means go ahead and put your thought process in the comments, and we will absolutely address that for sure.
For sure. Yeah, we're here to address all of this. Okay. Yes, I agree with this. And like I said, if I could go back and change that subject line, I would. But once you send an email, there's no going back. We did that specifically to say, for my goal, Etsy sucks. Apparently that was not clear. When you're writing something and you're working on a launch for a long time and you're really involved in it, sometimes you get this tunnel vision and you just see what you want to see. We've all experienced this. We're human. We don't sit here and tell you that we're perfect all the time. We tell you guys all the time that there is no perfect way to do things. And if somebody's telling you that they have the answer to making a good $1 trillion and it's going to take you 2 seconds and it has to be exactly their way, that's usually not a good sign.
No.
It's the same thing with us. We're not perfect, and we're not going to sit here and tell you that we know everything or we did this for a reason or that we had some bigger plan, because I wrote a subject line. It was probably midnight. That's all. I just wanted to keep it simple. That's it. And you know what? In retrospect, it would have been great. What did you suggest the other day, Chris? It was like, I'm closing my Etsy shop, here's why, or something like that.
No, I did say to you, didn't I? I said that the whole Etsy sucks thing, and I did say to you, and I said, you know what? In retrospect and in hindsight, it probably would have been better if we had said life beyond Etsy.
Yes.
If we'd had said that, life beyond Etsy. But again, that is actually addressed in these comments. That is addressed in those comments. So yeah, we can talk about that further now.
Yes. So Tanya watched our video, which is there to help you guys. Please don't comment if you're not going to at least entertain us trying to answer your comments. Please let us answer your comments. We do this in the videos. If you're going to comment, please be willing to watch us answer you. Okay. It's quite a shock. I get why Jenni is doing this. She touches on her embarrassment about doing this. Yeah, it's not hard for me to literally put something that for years I've been like, this is not the right way, but I'm teaching it and I feel really guilty about it. I've lost endless sleep over this. This is a decision that's been a long time coming. And I can't in good conscience not at least bring it to the forefront and say, you guys can clearly see that my Etsy shop is on vacation and it has been for some time. You can clearly see that I'm making my money somewhere else. Yeah. Why isn't anybody talking about this? You know, I want to talk about it. So anyway, this was really interesting. She said that we talked about the 20K Sarah and the 1 million Jane and talk about people in between. This is a question. She talks about her revenue and what she does and does not like about Etsy. If you haven't read this comment, read it. It's really fascinating. And she sits between Sarah and Jane, and I feel the same way. I too, and I'm surprised nobody's been like, well, you're not a millionaire, so what the hell? I'm really surprised I'm not getting that comment. Of all the things that people could be asking me, that to me seems like the most obvious thing to say. So I'm going to answer that one right here. And the point of 1%ers in this project that I'm doing right now is to show you, can we build to 1 million? We want to help you build up to where we are now and get beyond that. And in order to do that, we need to work on it. In the same way where if I was running the Etsy business I had wanted to run, I would have been doing that with my Etsy shop. But I didn't. I hated Etsy. It was torturing me and I couldn't do it. So I was doing it with my blog and my business because I liked that. And I got pretty far. but now I'm ready to transition and do something else, basically with the knowledge I learned from all these things. I think that a lot of us do not stay in one career for our whole lives. We do make transitions. We do make upgrades. We get promotions. For me, this is my promotion, essentially. I am moving on to something I want to do more, that I'm more passionate about, that's better. If you have been watching our Instagram, you may have noticed that for the first time ever since our Jenni Co. Instagram existed, Birch Please, whatever you want to call it, I actually got involved on Instagram. I actually started answering comments. I actually did stuff, and the content actually became interesting instead of super boring people posting for us replays of our blog articles, which if you look at was like, it's such a difference. And this is what you can kind of expect. When somebody likes their business and is really excited about what they're talking about, they get involved in the content, they make content, they try harder, they do more, they answer comments, they care. I haven't felt that way for years. I couldn't do this anymore. So it was really important to me to bring you guys with me in terms of that passion and to help you figure out your passion as well, because I know there are people out there who feel like I felt, and they feel really trapped. And just like they have no idea how to get out, and they're pretty sure they're stuck doing this for the rest of their lives, even though they hate it. That might not be you. And if it's not, I'm really happy for you. I'm genuinely happy if you have found something that is really working for you, that makes you happy, that you want to stick with. You are one of the lucky few. You are a small percentage. You are special in that way for sure. But it's also important to remember when something isn't working for you, that you need to give yourself the space to move on or have other options. And that's what I'm doing here. But I do agree with her. And hopefully that comment helped you guys with where I was going. Okay. Yes, we do have Power Seller as well. So currently the way that our products work is we have the Birch Please membership, which is like the blog membership. It's basically just content. We have the tribe, which is where you guys are. You understand that. And then we have Power Seller, which is weekly coaching for people who want to make serious sales online. Mostly it's focused on e-commerce in general, but Chris, you're a Power Seller coach. Like, I know you've touched on other topics.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we you know, as a Power Seller coach, we do talk about other things that they other things that they sell, and other platforms that they sell on, and different things that they do. So like if people are selling in real life or on their websites and stuff like that, we do discuss that. Those things are discussed. But obviously with Power Seller, it's mainly focused in around Etsy, of course. Yeah. I also want to acknowledge Tanya. My God, I'm so sorry about the breast cancer. You're so amazing. Mm-hmm. I can't believe your diagnosis was just 2 months ago and you've already had your first round of surgery. Like, man, just when you think you're living a stressful life, you hear about somebody else being braver than you and getting through something. Those are the moments in time when I'm just like, I have so much to be grateful for. And Tanya, I'm so glad you're here with us. I'm so glad you're healthy. And good for you. I can't imagine going through what you're going through. Like, thank you for taking the time to comment and share that with us. I don't even have the words. I can't even imagine what you're going through. Thank you. Thank you for not only sharing your experience, but for making me realize that what we've gone through is definitely not the worst thing in the world or the scariest thing in the world. And everybody just kind of has to keep that in perspective. It's like one thing changing is not the end of the world. In fact, it's often an opportunity, or in Tanya's case, it's an opportunity to get healthier, get better. I'm really excited to see that happen for you. I'm really excited. Okay. Let's see. More information about how the tribe will be transitioned would be appreciated. Yes, that is what we're doing here. We are going to make a big announcement with a lot more clarity when we've ironed out the specific details of how it will work, how it will look, and we'll be able to give you the options of, do you want to be in this version or do you want to be in this version? You know, we want you guys to have a place where you can continue to hang out with people and get information about Etsy. We just don't think we're the right people to teach it, which is why we're going to offer you a situation where other Etsy sellers who are active on Etsy and want to be on Etsy are teaching you what they know, or people who are on Etsy and might happen to have an amazing skill like photography, Pinterest, blah, 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 whatever they may have, can teach you stuff as well. Okay. Yes. This is interesting. That said, I'm not sure how I could use my talents as an artist to transition my business into something completely different. I mean, here's the thing. Most of us get stuck on the idea because it's like, we're like, if we had a big idea, we would have thought of it already. But
how much time do we really spend thinking about this sort of thing? I know that for us to make this transition, I had to spend a lot of time, like an uncomfortable amount of time. I had to purposefully be uncomfortable for months, trying to come up, months, not just like a day, months of me being like, oh, I'm unhappy and I don't know how to fix it and I'm stuck here forever and I should just stay here because it's easy, but I don't want to. Months of that thought going round and round and round in my head until I finally started to come up with ideas that felt good, that felt like they would work for me. This is not a snap your fingers and know what your idea is. Some people will do an exercise with us and they'll be overflowing with ideas and they'll be like, yes, I'm so excited. And other people will be like, I still don't know what I want to do. This is the reality of life. Sometimes it just takes time to get to where you want to be. And with visual artists, there is a lot that we've suggested for people. The other day on Twitch, we had somebody come on who said that they were a digital illustration artist and they want to start focusing on illustration for books. And they didn't know how to do that because their Instagram was all their visual, like their digital art, like, videos of them doing it. And all other digital artists were following them. No actual people who wanted to sell books or have illustrators were following them. And they were having a really hard time figuring out how to make that transition. And we suggested that they took super popular books, the kind of books that people would be searching for and Googling. So like 4-Hour Workweek, things that everybody's heard of, and do their version of a summary of this book in pictures. So that way people who, number one, want to write a book, they always read a lot. We're targeting them. They're going to be looking at other books, Googling other books, thinking about this kind of thing. It's also walking people who read books and are more likely to either A, write a book or buy a book illustrated by this person. It walks those people through a summary of a book that is very visual, which I think we all need these days. We're all very visual learners. It helps us, and it helps us to remember concepts. So we suggested that instead of doing just the digital art, demonstrations, that he actually start like demonstrating how a book works, the main points. There's usually 4 to 5 main big points in a book that are good takeaways. We suggested he illustrate those takeaways and talk people through each illustration so they get each point and have like a visual anchor for each point. So there's always a way. That's like a really quirky example. There is always a way. You just have to believe. Some people are not ready to make that leap and some people are. I told you guys, it took me years to get over that stress and months of being super uncomfortable to get to the point where I was ready to actually commit to something. I'm still really uncomfortable because everything is different now. I'm happier, but I'm really uncomfortable. It's all different. Of course I'm uncomfortable. I'm human. I don't like change, right? Yeah. I'm probably going to be uncomfortable for the next couple of months. I'll probably be uncomfortable until January when we make the full transition to the new version of the tribe.
What a fun and exciting Christmas for you.
I'll live. There are far worse things than being uncomfortable. I'll survive. It's cool. I'll learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm sleeping at night. That's indication number 1 that everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, that's a very good testament to everything's going to be okay when you're actually still sleeping.
If I can get myself calm enough that I can sleep at night, cool. I told you guys I lost 5 pounds during this launch. It's been, when did we start? On Tuesday?
Yeah.
Clearly I'm stressed, but I will figure it out. I'll figure out a way. I'll figure out what I'm doing wrong. I'll figure out where I'm stressing out. I'll work through that slowly. I'll get used to the adjustment and it'll be okay. And that's exactly what will happen to all of you, regardless of what you do and anytime you get uncomfortable. Think that there are so many scarier things that we have all done than this. I bet you everyone here can think of something traumatic and scary that they've had to go through that was bigger. It may have been a health scare. It may have been a health scare of a family member. It may have been something happening. It may have been moving somewhere big and new and scary. There's a million things that could have happened, especially with the recent climate change, politics. All these things have kind of changed our world. Corona made our world a lot scarier. We have gotten through all of those things. We're not victims. We can sit here and be comfortable in the discomfort and figure it out so that it works for us, even when things are going on that we're not super thrilled with. Now, I know that I'm on the way to adjusting it to something I am thrilled with, so I'm satisfied. That's the difference. If you know you can adjust to take away at least 5% of your discomfort, I'm shooting for 75% of my discomfort because I have big, lofty goals. If you know you can take it away, then great, you can relax. But if you're struggling to figure out how do I take away that discomfort, as even if I'm on Etsy or if things are changing, like, that's kind of a lot of what we're working on in the 1%ers too, is like, how can you learn to get through something like this crazy launch we did, and be sane at the end and handle it and do well. Like, this is a part of one of the many things we'll be discussing and helping 1%ers with as they run their business and turn it into something bigger. Okay. Yes. That Richard, thank you. Okay. Emile, sorry. Amelie. I can't pronounce names. I apologize.
Amelie.
I love this conversation. I love it. Amelie, thank you. I love this conversation. Me too. I'm in a similar place, making decent full-time living. I also have a website. I'm an artist and I love making myself. I don't see myself teaching or coaching. Yeah, we're not teaching you how to teach or coach. The point of 1%ers is for us to go, what do you love? Let's make more of it. But then let's also figure out how you can make more profit out of what you're currently getting without changing anything or making more money. And then let's also figure out how to create your perfect day and get that out of your everyday working day so that you're not doing tons of things you don't want to do. Nowhere in there did I talk about coaching. You could keep running your Etsy shop on 1%ers because, like I said, 1%ers is not about telling you what to do. It's about taking what you want to do and us supporting you wholeheartedly in your choice. Where else in the world can you go to get non-judgmental support? Trust me, it's not YouTube. It's not Instagram. It's not really the internet. This is what we want. It's what I want for my business. And I wanted to create a place for you to get that with your business. Because there's nowhere really out there. Not even my own husband gives me judgment-free support. I love him to death. But all humans are imperfect. And I want a place where you can get non-judgmental support when you need it, and where people will ask you questions when maybe you're thinking about doing something that might not align with what your ultimate goal is. You know, that's the only kind of like, have you thought about this? What is your plan? Sort of thing that you would see in the 1%ers. Okay. Yes. I really do appreciate when people sort of know where they're at. And I think that this is important. If you know you want to stay in the tribe, stay in the tribe. We're going to try and create a really magical place for you. It's just not going to be us all the time that you're seeing. We're going to be organizing it so it stays beautiful and organized and highly functional for you. Because if we just handed it over, who knows what would happen? You're used to what we've created. You clearly like it because you're still here. So we're going to continue to organize it for you so it works very similarly, if not identically, to how it works now. But it's not going to be us teaching you. Not anymore. I think it's going to be really, really great for you guys to get a wide range of perspectives and view and learn a lot of different things from people who are literally in the weeds doing it like yesterday. It's going to be so valuable. There's going to be nowhere else you can go to get this because everybody sells their own courses, their own thing. Well, what about the collective knowledge that we have here? There are people in this group that did better on Etsy than I ever did. Why aren't we listening to them? I mean, I could ask myself so many trolly questions about why we kept that Etsy shop and the Etsy-based business running so long. Like, your guys' questions are nothing compared to the ones that were in my head for months and months and months. You know?
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, everybody's freaking out about because I looked at Caitlin Minimalist. To be clear, I looked at Caitlin Minimalist because I wanted to use an example of a big shop. I do not know her numbers. As I said in the presentation, ran a projection of what could be based on a profit first method, which is a widely accepted method for calculating business income and output. But because I don't have her numbers, there's no way for me to know. I literally created a what if scenario where I was like, this is as close as I can get with the information I have. I did not say, these are her figures, look at this mess. I did not say that. I said, let's look at this scenario and let's see what it looks like, what it could look like. So that's what's going on with Caitlin Minimalist. The figure may be wrong, 1,000%. As I said, I did a projection based on the info I had, and I have huge pieces of missing info other than just the numbers that are on Etsy. I have no idea. So Laura is so right, guys. I love this comment. I know Etsy has its issues, but so do most things eventually. Oh, Laura, thank you. my job is not perfect. I'm not sitting here telling you that I am happy every day. You guys are listening to me telling you that I've lost 5 pounds. I'm really stressed out. I chose to pivot for my own long-term sanity. I sacrificed my short-term sanity for it. I made that choice. That was me saying, I'm willing to do this. You do not ever have to do what I have done, ever. If it's not for you, I support you fully. Okay? So if you're a creative spirit, I agree with this. People do ask a lot from you, and you do often have a lot of ideas, which can be confusing because you can't run 200 businesses at once. What I find as somebody who's very creative is reining myself in and finding a focus that encompasses a lot of the things I want to do at once helps me. So then I can kind of switch back and forth so I don't get bored with one thing. You know what I mean? One of the reasons I chose 1%ers and talking about businesses as a whole instead of just Etsy is because I have been giving business advice since I was 19 years old and first realized that I did not want to work in an office and opened my own freelance web design mini business. That business failed, but I still love talking about business. I've been talking about business, thinking about business for longer than any other thing that I can think of besides, maybe day-to-day things like food. I can't really think of anything else that I have consistently maintained passion for. That's why I chose it. Because I was like, I'm not going to get bored of this. I never have. So I don't agree with you, though, on this part, Laura. Guess I'm not going to make $1 million anytime soon. If dealing with Etsy combos, like you said, are a breeze in comparison to the idea of delivering stuff via coaches or courses or coaching for you, then Etsy may be your $1 million meal ticket. Some people love the aspects of Etsy. For me, combos I would rather literally be forced to live in a room full of rotting fish than open up my computer and answer Etsy combos all day. That's my personal thing where I'm like, I hate it. I don't like this. And Chris can tell you, I hate emails too. Like there's just certain things we all hate. We have these things that we hate that make our skin crawl. For Laura, combos are not that thing. Combos are fine compared to the idea of what I do, which makes her skin crawl. This is why there's no way to tell someone what to do in their business. Because I could say, oh, you need to do coaches and coursing. Words. You need to do courses, and her skin will crawl. And I'll be like, well, my way is the right way and you have to do it this way. And meanwhile, she's freaking miserable. No, if combos make me miserable and make her happy, I need to accept that two-way street. And I need to accept that people are allowed to say, I hate this, I'm not doing it, versus I'm totally okay with doing this, even if you hate it. I'm not here to tell you exactly what to do. I'm here to help you find the ideas that work for you, even if that's based on just Etsy. We're here to think big, not just think, oh my God, how can I promote this on Pinterest? But think, oh my God, how can I make $5,000 more this month? Big thoughts, right? What is the big transition? Promoting this on Pinterest is not going to make you $5,000 this month. What will? Okay, let's talk about offering super popular products. Let's talk about maybe getting very serious about Amazon Handmade. Let's talk about, do we want to build up a brand for you on YouTube so you have a bigger audience to pull from besides just Etsy? All of those are suggestions. You don't have to do any of them. There are a million other things to do besides the ideas I just named. But in 1%ers, you are responsible for getting help finding those ideas. You don't have to come up with them, but we're going to seek them out together, right? Okay, I think a lot of people are confused, but if you listen to what she's saying, Jenni is still saying that Etsy is the place for you if you were starting out or building up your business. Thank you, Wendelin. Very accurate. But with her experience coaching, she has gotten to see that if we want, we can do more. Some people, in fact, want more than Etsy for a lot of reasons. But let me be clear with you. If you're complaining about Etsy because it's like, oh, well, they have fees and they have this and they have that, and like Etsy could shut my shop down at any time, that's true of anywhere online. Yeah. If you're complaining about Etsy for that reason, you need to evaluate whether you belong online and whether you're an entrepreneur. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because that's true of anything. And you need to let go of that objection if you want to work for yourself, because it will always be true for the rest of your life working for yourself. So let it go. I've got a YouTube video coming out about this that's very sarcastic, actually. 5 stupid reasons to leave Etsy is coming out. And that is one of the ones that I discuss in depth. I totally agree with everything Gwendolyn has said here. And like, keep Etsy as a part of your business plan. Like Gwendolyn says, if that is what you want, are you on Etsy because it makes you happy? I have no business taking happiness away from you. That is the opposite of what this program and my entire business is about, for sure. But change is confusing and it's super scary. I know you guys are scared because I'm changing things, but would you really rather that I stay here and teach you something I don't believe in and just take your money? That to me feels like a Jeff Bezos level of awful. It's like, I don't want to be that person. If I wanted to make a ton of money, just taking money from people for no reason, for something I didn't believe in, that option is available to all of us, but we've chosen not to. It says something about how we feel about ourselves and how we live life. I just have to make this choice for me, and I have to make this choice for you, right? I refuse to be that person who teaches you something that I outright know there's other things that I could be teaching better. Doesn't mean that I'm going to stop talking about Etsy and 1%ers entirely. If we're talking about an Etsy shop, we're talking about an Etsy shop. But it does mean that we're going to talk a bigger picture and things outside of Etsy, as well as things inside of Etsy that maybe have nothing to do with Etsy. You know, it's a lot, but it's going to be fun. And it's just a matter of, have you been waiting for something more? And you can't get it. You can't find it. For me and on Etsy for so long, it was like, why can I not get more out of this, even though I'm working twice as hard? And every year I would work even harder, but my income would grow even less than the year before. And I was just like, there's gotta be something that works better for me, because I personally refuse to live a life where I'm working 14-hour days, not having a social life. And you might not have that. You might have really good balance. Good. Hell yeah, you figured out something that most people do not figure out. Okay, you're definitely special if you figured that out already. I really struggled with that balance, and I knew pretty quickly that Etsy was not the best place for me, and that I would rather have more control over my business, my day-to-day, and what I was doing and selling, right? So that's kind of why I went that route. And some of you may have the same reason as me, and some of you may have different reasons. But if you've been stuck and you can't get unstuck, and you feel just like things are slowly closing in on you and you're on a perpetual hamster wheel forever, and you know you're never going to be able to stop running until you retire, it's time to take action and fix that now before you retire and wind up then doing the same thing, but with volunteer work or keeping yourself super busy because it's the only way you know how to live, when really we should be focused on keeping you super happy. That could mean super busy, but for most of us, it means a balance. Okay, I think we're good. Did I miss any? Let's see. No, I don't.
No, you didn't. I went through. Oh, there was a few. There was a few comments there. There was actually there is one comment actually on the event that we booked in today that I would just like to address, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, you can go over there and have a look at it. You can read it first. Just, it's from Denise. There you go. That's the one. Just because she can't speak to us in the chat for some reason. So
totally.
Yeah.
Hi, Denise. Okay. I can't comment on the chat for some reason, but we're upset because of how it was done after so many years of hearing how great Etsy is. So I don't think when reading the comments, I hear anyone abusing your guys. We're venting our frustration. Thank you. Actually, that's a very good point, Denise. Like, I do appreciate that. I will say this. I still believe Etsy is great, especially for beginners, especially for certain people selling certain things like digital sellers. There's really no better place to sell something digital than Etsy. Even Creative Market has significant limitations in comparison. And if I sold digital items, I would probably still sell on Etsy. But
Can I
think
just
a lot of go ahead.
Can I just come in with something on this? I absolutely agree with what Denise has said. As I said, she's like, we're upset with how it was done after so many years of hearing how great Etsy is. So I don't think when reading the comments, I hear anyone abusing you guys. I have spent the last, how long have we been doing this this event now? For 50 minutes. And I've debated about whether I was going to bring this up. I will say that whilst I do agree that some of the comments haven't, some of the comments have just been bringing up points. We have had DMs, and I have had DMs that have been horrifically
really
abusive.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true.
and I will go so far, and I will say this, that no one else knows this, including Jenni. So, and I will say, granted, this person has been booted out, banned, and barred for life, but I will say I won't tolerate it when somebody comes in and is homophobic to me via messaging system. Okay, so I will say, actually, the abuse through has actually been from certain people, and I'm not saying that is not, and I'm not saying that is the majority, and believe you me, it is not the majority at all, but I will just say it has not been pleasant. So on that one, so I'm just wanted to address that one. That was all.
I'm really sorry that happened to you, Chris.
No, it's fine.
I'm really sorry.
It's fine.
It's such low-hanging fruit for people to say, oh, I'm going to pick this thing that everybody could be angry about that will obviously fire you up, and I'm going to say it to you because I'm upset about something. Like, that sucks. I'm really sorry that happened to you. They clearly did it because they had no other ammunition besides something super basic to say to you.
No, absolutely, and it upset me at the time, it's very low, and they go, and I think it says more about their intelligence, and I think there you go. I think it says more about their intelligence than anything else, and I think that's the point.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we've gotten a fair amount of abuse in the DMs. I haven't gotten anything like that, and Chris, that is not okay. It's not. I'm so happy you booted out.
Hence why they've been removed and barred and banned for life.
Blocked everywhere. So yes, not okay. But I completely do think that there. I mean, like I said, we're human. The biggest mistake, as I said, I think we made was using the words Etsy sucks. I know that was shocking. Like I said, I wrote a subject line at midnight. I was tired. There's no excuse. Like, I wrote what I wrote and I sent it out, but now I can't undo it. Now in retrospect, I realize we should have gone about this a little bit differently. This is a great failure for me to learn from as a business owner. It's like, well, now if I teach people to pivot, I will know how to go at this in a way that is not, I think a lot of people use the term clickbaity. It wasn't what I was thinking when I did it, but I've been dealing with so many YouTube titles and YouTube things. Maybe that's just the space that my brain was in. Clickbaity, I've been watching so many videos too. It's like, not this week, but yeah, look, Etsy is great for beginners. If somebody came up to me tomorrow on the street and said, hey, you teach people how to run businesses, you run a big business, or, you run a business that's doing well, it's not big. What do you recommend I do? And I would ask them, well, what do you like? And if they said to me that they love making stuff, I would say I still strongly believe that Etsy is the correct way to go.
Yeah.
It's just going to work for you so much better than anything else you do, so much faster. I had 4 failed businesses before Etsy worked for me. 4. It was working on Etsy that got me to the point where I was then able to have a successful business independent of Etsy. Like, I was trying hard to make this work and it was not working for me.
Yeah.
I still believe Etsy is great. I actually never anywhere said that Etsy wasn't great. I just used the words Etsy sucks. And remember, I used those words to say that Etsy sucks for what I'm trying to achieve. I just was unfortunately not as clear as I could have been. Nowhere did I ever say the words, I don't believe in Etsy. I hate it. It's a terrible platform. I've actually expressed 4 or 5 times how grateful I am to Etsy for freeing me from that horrible job that was verbally abusive that I was in Silicon Valley before I was able to leave, because Etsy was paying my paycheck basically with the sales that I was making there. I'm forever grateful to Etsy. I will be always. I also love this community of people who really care and are creative, because as somebody who is always working fairly creative jobs, I feel that you guys are my people more so than any other type of business owner. There's so many business owners that are out there just to make quick money. And I'm not here for that. The thing I love about creatives is they care about what they're doing. This is one of the reasons why I felt like 1%ers was correct for a group of people like this, because you guys are not here to make a quick buck, rip a bunch of people off, and then take down your shop and run off. You're not here for that. There's a lot of that going on Amazon right now. A lot. I don't want to work with those people. I would much rather work with people who are creative and care about what they do in whatever vein I work with them.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that helped. Do we have any others that we need to address?
We do. We have comments in the chat here that I would like to go through and address there, because obviously there's not everyone's had the opportunity to go over to the community and actually voice their thoughts over there. And not only that, but we did say to Becky that obviously she can explain why she's angry from her point of view, and I would like to address that as well. So I'm just going to go through and have a look at some of those comments. So Melita, just before we get to Becky, so Melita, can you please repeat what will be the 2 options for the tribe subscription? I missed the beginning of the stream.
Yes. Hi, Melita. So what we were thinking of is, I'm going to do it this way. One option, which will basically be, you'll be in the tribe, you'll get the community as is, you'll get our previous course vaults, everything we taught previously, but that won't be updated. And then you'll get access to the new courses, content, worksheets, live streams, whatever, that are going to be taught by other Etsy sellers. That's going to be the lower tier for people who want to pay less, or for people who are just starting out, or for people who are kind of dipping their toe in the water, or for people who just want a low monthly payment. The other option is going to be for people who want to teach something. They have a skill, they want to be a part of it, or for people who want to teach something and be in the text group, the tribe-specific text group. This option is going to be a bit more expensive, but if you teach courses, you'll get paid. We will pay you $100 a pop if we approve your item, which I imagine we're going to approve most of them because you guys are pretty good. And you could teach that course in any way you want. It could be like a worksheet pack where you explain your way through it. It could be a live like this where you're showing somebody on screen how to do something. It could be shop critiques. It could also be you showing people how you set something up. So if you're doing photography, this is how I set it up. This is why. All of those things are available to you. Or if you have a skill that you're particularly good at that you want to teach a longer course for, that's something that you can do as well. Regardless, if you're in that higher tier, you're going to get the text group. So there is a tribe text group for people who are in the higher tier now. You will get access to that text group. And you will also get access to everything everybody else in the tribe has, but you'll have the option to be able to teach, which every time you teach, we'll pay you $100. There will be maximum 4 things that are taught per month. And we may do less than that because we want to make sure we don't overwhelm anybody. But if you guys want that, we'll give it to you, you know? So if you want to teach a course, please feel free. And here's the thing, we're not going to pay you, like we'll pay you half once you give us the course, like idea, and then we'll pay you the other half once you complete it. So you'll get something for your work regardless. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like if you come to us and you're like, here's all these worksheets we want to do, or if you come to us and you're like, here's all these worksheets I don't want to be on camera, we can work that out too. A lot of people honestly just record their screen on Loom, and this can be a pre-recorded course. You do not have to go live. I'm totally cool with that. We just want Etsy sellers, we want you to show people how to do something that changed your life on Etsy, that really made a difference, that is currently making a difference. And if you're able to do that and like show people how to do it, answer questions about it, because that's a part of the course, then your work is valuable. And I think a lot of people here are like, God, I want to teach Etsy, but I don't have time. This is a great way to get that extra money and teach Etsy and not have to build up a business that looks exactly like ours does now, essentially. You know what
somebody
I mean?
asked somebody asked earlier on, do we know what the price of those tiers are going to be at the moment? As we did address right at the very beginning, what we don't like to do is we don't like to come to you guys with an idea that we've not actually got tied in a neat package for you and say, right, this is what it's going to be. So at this moment in time, Jenny, do we have any idea what that's going to be? I don't want to speak for you here. So do we have any idea what that price is going to be?
First, I can give you a range. Mm-hmm. The first tier, the lower tier will probably range from 39 to 50. Mm-hmm. And the higher tier will probably be 97 to 150.
Right. Okay.
We obviously have to sit down and figure that out.
Yeah.
But those are the ranges.
Okay. No problem.
Please feel free to comment if you have a strong feeling about that. Right. Either way.
Okay.
We need to make sure that these sellers are getting paid for their work. And that's one of the things that people are paying for in this course. We're basically using this income to pay the people who are doing courses. Oh, it's thundering here. Sorry if you can hear that.
I can.
But we want to make sure that people are getting paid for their work. So we can't just charge like $9 if that's why you're here. That's never going to happen.
And more importantly, like I said, we're not only we need to make sure they're getting paid for the work that they're doing, but we also need to make sure they're getting paid what they're worth. So, you know, on that one as well. And that's something that we've preached for a very long time, that, you know, even if that's ranged from increasing your prices on your items, to, like I say, to teaching classes and things like that. So yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's just go through here as well. Okay, so Beth did say that she's very excited to know what she can still be in the tribe when she's not a 1%er. She loves the tier idea. She's so excited with what is going on within the tribe right now, and because she doesn't want to lose her Jenni and Chris input. Okay, so the only reason I wanted to address this on there is because, as Jenni has said at the beginning, that if that is going to happen with the tribe, obviously there will be a level of moderation that we'll be doing in there, but we would not actually be actively going through there. Jenni won't be actively going through there and talking on there. So I just wanted to make sure, really just clear that one up. That was all.
I mean, I think one of the things too that especially we may do for the people in the text group is we may have like a once monthly, we come in, we hang out, we chat for a little bit. We can do that because we haven't lost our Etsy experience. You know what I mean? We've coached so many people too that we can say, well, so-and-so tried this and here are the options you could do to try it. Do any of those resonate with you? We may do that. That would have to be worked into the pricing though. So here's my question. Would you rather pay, you know, $97-ish, $97-ish to $150-ish and get no access to us? Would you rather pay a little more and get access to it? That would be probably as much as $50 to $100 more, because obviously we have to pay for our time as well, you know? So think about that too. And, you know, there may be options where you can hire Chris for one-off coaching sessions. He's such a wonderful coach. Those things may be made available. We just need to decide what we want to do. And we need you guys to tell us what you want so we can do it. Because like, I'm not going to go away and be like, okay, we're going to do this, 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 this. I would rather you tell me, Jenni, I want you to do this. And then I figure out how to make it happen. You know, sometimes certain things that you guys ask for, the price may have to be higher because of the tools and other things we have to pay for to keep it running. Like Mighty Networks alone that we're running on right now, I think is like $200 or something a month. It's not cheap. So that's just one of the tools that we're using. So we do have to support the system we have so that you guys can continue to stay where you are. We're not sitting here trying to be like, let's squeeze more profit out of this. We're sitting here trying to be like, these are our expenses. These are the expenses we're going to have hiring other Etsy sellers to teach us the cool things that they know. Let's make sure that everybody is getting paid for and that we're all doing well. I mean, we're obviously going to have somebody moderating and working with the tribe. There may be one dedicated person that is in there all day, every day, just focused on working with the tribe, organizing things, getting future courses set up, all those things. That person needs to be paid as well. That person is going to be there for you guys all the time and is going to bring us in if we need to be brought in. You know what I mean? So you guys know you run small businesses. There's a million little pieces that you have to consider, but I want you to tell me what it is you want most so that I can build it out as close to what you're saying you want as possible. You know what I mean? Like, it's so dark in here. When a tornado comes through here in 20 minutes.
It's not too bad, actually. You're doing okay. The ring light's doing the ring light's doing good things. The ring light is doing good things.
It's so bright to me. Like, absolutely. It's so bright.
Okay, so let's just have a quick look. I'm just going up here on just having a look on this question from Desiree. While she is someone who actually has joined the 1%ers, she's still really focused on the tribe because that was her first investment. She knows that this week, you know, we've obviously been doing a lot with, like, you know, a lot going on in our lives, like the launch and things like that. But do you think it's going to spread us a little bit thin when we, you know, when we pick one chat over the other? On that one. So, like, obviously we're talking about the different chats there. So obviously at this moment, Desiree, it has been a very, very busy, it has been such an insane week. And I genuinely think the first time in 3.5 years, Jenni and I said to each other today, we're like, oh, thank God it's Friday. And, you know, in that one, just to have that weekend back. So it is going to be, well, like I say, just this launch has been obviously busy, and we've obviously wanted to go around and we want to speak to as many people about it as possible. So this week has been a bit crazy, but obviously next week things will go back to normal.
Things are going to go back much more normal. And I mean, here's the thing. I used to write blog articles for the blog every single week and promote them and do all these things. That task is going away. Completely. So I'm actually losing huge tasks that I used to do in order to be like, one of the reasons I restructured my time, which is something we are going to talk about on 1%ers. Like, how did I restructure my time? How did I figure this out? How can you guys figure this out so you have time to do new things or to just make your day lighter. I did totally restructure so that I would have attention. This week we're stressed, and we have decided to end the One Percenters launch early because number one, the response was huge. And number two, we do not want it to fill up. We want everybody that's in there to get maximum attention. So we cut the slots by like three quarters. We cut it into like 3/4 because we were like, no, we want to give these people maximum attention. I don't want to sell 100 slots. So we do not have as many slots left. We are expecting, we know we're ending on Wednesday regardless. If the slots fill up before that, like if they all fill up tomorrow, we're done.
Yeah.
Like that's it. So that's sort of like where we're at now. And I do expect, first of all, my plan is to literally go into One Percenters on the tribe chat almost immediately after this. And basically spend a good chunk of time in there because I actually missed it terribly in the last day or so because I've been so busy, and I would much rather be there than answering comments on YouTube and Instagram, which sounds like the worst job ever because it is, but you have to do it, So no, I don't think so. I think the fact that we love the text group so much is what's always going to pull us back and keep us there because it's the first thing I want to do every morning when I wake up. Yeah. The only thing that stops me is I'll be like, well, I have to do this thing for One Percenters before I go in and talk to them because I want to give them a calendar of events, or I want to give them this replay dashboard because we've just got set up. I want to make sure they have everything. I want to make the thing I have before I go in and start talking to people so I can also put an announcement in our main stage group and be like, this is what we're doing, etc. So I'm difficult, but we are doing the best that we can. We're going to continue to do the best we can. And this is all going to be over on Wednesday. All of it. Technically Thursday, but hopefully before that. Thursday morning, but hopefully before that.
Yeah, hopefully so. I'd like to come in with what Becky said, because obviously we did say to Becky earlier on that we wanted to tell us why we're angry. So I'd like to go through that now, if that's okay with you. Yes. So I cannot speak for everyone, but here is the gist. And this is based only from the I'm closing my shop vid. So that's obviously the one that we did on Tuesday, isn't it, when you were closing your shop vid. You pulled the rug out from under us. Most of us are only here for the Etsy help specifically. Two, you insulted us by creating an us and them rhetoric groups, or in your terms, a Sarah and Jane groups. You poised yourself as an elitist, and most of us are Sarahs, and we don't have a spare mortgage payment ready to hand over.
Okay, that's pretty strong. I'm gonna hide this comment so I can read it in full, because obviously on screen I can't read it in full.
You can't read it in full there, yeah.
Right.
She does. Do you want to address those points first, and then
let me go one at a time. One at a time. So you pulled the rug out from under us. Okay, if I pulled the rug out from under you, I would have just taken away this business, this part, the tribe entirely. I also would have not shown up for any further Etsy courses, not sat here and talked to you guys. There's a lot of things I could have done. I could have pulled a Lisa Jacobs on you guys and gone, I got a better paying job in San Francisco. Peace out. Here's my book. Buy it.
Yeah.
I totally could have pulled that at any point. At no point did I ever entertain that for a moment. I get that you're angry, Becky, and I didn't mean any of the thing. Like, I completely get where you're coming from now hearing it explained to me. But remember, when somebody is communicating with you, they only have in their head what they know and their biases. And while you might hear something completely different, I didn't mean any of those things that you said at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through and explain them one by one, though, because I feel like you deserve at least that. So I didn't pull the rug out under from you guys. The tribe is staying the same for 6 months, and we were already actively working on a tribe replacement that we thought would be 1,000 times better than anything we could give you ourselves, as we talked about with the 2 different tiers. We want to make sure that you not only have a way to earn money from your Etsy acumen, but also that you have a place to go to share this with other people. I could have taken this group away. I told you it costs like $200 a month just to run my networks. I could have said, screw it, cut that cost, let's move on. I never did that. There are so many bloggers and influencers and people who sell courses and coaching that do these things and turn on a dime and just walk away. I had that option available to me at every point, and I never entertained it for a second. I'm not here for that. I know you guys have been here for me. I know you guys have supported me. I will never, ever, ever do anything purposefully to not support you, knowingly, right? I mean, I have a certain level of privilege, and I admit to you, creating an us-them rhetoric never crossed my mind. I'm fascinated by this comparison. I agree with you that it's there. That wasn't really why I did it, but I admit that now having this pointed out to me, it is a very interesting thing to consider. I will say this. I created Sarah versus Jane to sort of compare me when I was first starting out and really struggling with everything to my friend who is the multi-million-dollar business who I strive to be. As I said, I am in the middle, very much so. But I have aspects of both, and I try hard to work towards those Jane aspects so that my business will be better. One of the things I hated about being a Sarah when I was a Sarah was that I was only focused on me and my money, and I was never focused on my customer when I was selling on Etsy. Never. I was just focused on how can I make more money. That felt really icky to me, and it's not what I want to be. And when I started to focus on what my customer wanted, that was when we sort of built out the tribe and this blog and all these other things. But then, of course, over time, I found something better. And I thought from the perspective of I'm here to give my customers what I think is the best information I personally have inside of me. I can't in good conscience continue to say, I just want to teach Etsy. I also want to show you guys other ways, you know? So I don't think most of you guys are Sarahs at all. I see aspects of Jane in all of you every day. The fact that you showed up here, Becky, and you didn't just leave an angry comment, walk away, says that you are a Jane because you are willing to listen to opinions other than your own. You are willing to talk to other people, and you're willing to tell people how you really feel. Trust me, Sarahs have a lot of trouble with that. A lot of trouble with it because they're just after, you know, quick fixes and money, and they don't want the pain and the discomfort. What you did was brave. Speaking up and being willing to listen to me talk back to you about whatever you said. Because I could have been, well, no, we didn't do that and blah, blah, blah. And you said this, Becky. I could have been mean about it, and you didn't know what I was going to do. There's always a risk when you say stuff that somebody's going to be mean or yell at you. But I definitely don't think that you guys are Sarahs. I think that we all have Sarah aspects inside of us. And a big part of learning to be in business is learning which of those aspects serve you and which ones don't. For example, a lot of people who do the FOMO thing that Sarahs do it because they're creatives and it's actually them seeking out new ideas because they're bored. That's not FOMO. That's your natural inclination. You can't pick on that. So I'd never thought of you guys as Sarahs. I really genuinely apologize if you put yourself in that boat, Becky, because I would never put you in that boat. You're a person who's multidimensional, and saying people are Sarah or Jane is like saying that you're as simple as being black or white. There's more to it than that. A person is a person. They're not just one thing or the other. They're all kinds of things. They are them. They are a personality that is specific and distinct. I simply use that as a device for people to sort of say, I have some of these problems, or I catch myself doing this and I know that it's wrong and it's stressing me out, but I now see that I could change them into this. Okay, now I want to learn how to change them into this, or I want to work on myself to change this. And some of these aspects you might be like, I'm fine that I do that. Cool, keep it. For me, there are certain Sarah aspects that I'm like, I'm not super worried about that one right now. I have it. I'm not super worried about it. And then there are other aspects where I look at where I'm like, I'm really glad that I curated and developed this Jane aspect of my personality because it did not come naturally to me. Really, really happy with myself because I live a better life now. It's really just a comparison device. Now, we don't have a spare mortgage payment ready to hand over. Becky, I'm not saying that in order to, get something that we've created, you have to pay us for 1%ers. I'm not. If this is not for you, it's not for you. This is for the people who are making, almost 6 figures or more, who want to move on, who aren't happy with Etsy, which it doesn't sound like you're that person. So of course, 1%ers is not for you. Don't even entertain the price if it's not for you. Okay? If it is something that's for you and you're just upset about how expensive it is, I will say this. When we offer a level of support where you can text us directly, where we can talk, where we can have, we have office hours, like audio office hours and question sessions. And I'm talking to every single person in this group and learning about them and their business over time. and we're becoming close friends. We only have so much bandwidth for that. We can't charge $99 to do that. We can't serve hundreds of people doing that either. We need to serve a small group of about 40 or less and help them over the year. So it has to be more expensive for the time that we're putting in so that we can continue to basically build our business up such that it still supports you. You know what I mean? And so that we can pay ourselves for our work. You, Becky, deserve to be paid what you're worth. It's really hard when you know you're chronically underpaid or you know you're not getting what you're worth. It's heartbreaking. It's also really hard to charge what you're truly worth, what your time is truly worth. I feel we have severely undercharged for this program. There is no coaching program in the world where you can directly text people, get their feedback, and get to know them in this way. I've signed up for coaching programs for $20,000 where I only got one meeting a month with a person.
Yeah.
This is severely underpriced. I'm kind of upset at myself for devaluing myself this much. I've had a lot of, calm down, Jenni moments because I've realized how much I'm actually undervaluing both Chris, mine, and Richard's skill set. This is a personal money mindset issue that I have, and I know it's there. I refuse to charge what the boys or the big female coaches are charging because I personally do not feel I'm worth it. I don't agree that that's true, but for whatever reason inside of me, I feel that way about myself, and I'm gradually working to pull that out and figure out why. This is something I'm going to be discussing in depth with people in One Percenters because I see it in other people, and it's a problem I have. It's a problem I can troubleshoot, but I'm not perfect at it, and I'm not going to claim to be. Because if I was perfect at it, I would have charged what this program was worth, and I think it's worth at least double. So please know that I'm not picking on you or saying, any of these things you've said. I'm really sorry if you felt this way. I never meant to ruin your day or hurt any of you in any way, shape, or form. I simply wanted to illustrate something. And there's some ways that I could have gone about it better. The fact is, I think Gwendolyn said this earlier, a lot of people, even in this group, when certain things have happened, have said Etsy sucks for this reason, Etsy sucks for that reason. It's sort of like a colloquialism that we as Etsy sellers occasionally use. Apparently, it was not cool the way that I did it. But I will say that I feel we've gone to great lengths to make sure you guys are taken care of, and we always will. So I will appreciate it if you can forgive us for being human and making a small misstep. And I'll also appreciate it if you guys choose to stay. We're going to do our absolute best to make sure that this program works for you and that the person running it cares about every single thing and is excited to be there so that you guys are getting the absolute best of our work, organization management, and the absolute best courses because they're going to be vetting the courses with us.
Yeah.
Right? We want that to happen for sure. Okay. Let's see. Oh, good. We have this. I do think the new tribe format could be amazing and evolution with so much promise. Yeah. I really think that as a group, you guys know so much more than me. It's always confused me as to why people are like, oh, Jenni's going to tell us this. And I'm like, well, somebody over here is sitting here with 10 times more Pinterest followers, for example, than I have doing all these amazing things. But you guys are waiting for me to tell you? I think it's going to be amazing for you guys to tap into the joint knowledge of everybody who actually cares about what they're doing on Etsy and is very excited to be there. I think it's going to be mind-blowing. And I don't think that there's going to be anything else like it out there because everybody's like, my way or the highway, this is how I teach it. I don't want to do that. I'm not here for that. I think it's going to be exciting to get all these perspectives together and create something amazing. Okay. Let's do this one.
I will say that Becky has since come back after you did speak. I know it's just one of the most recent comments, but she did say she appreciates all of the clarifications that you went through with her, Jenni. So I just wanted to
thank you. I don't want to screw you guys over or hurt you, but this is a good question, Becky, and it's legit.
Yeah.
Trust is an issue. How do I know she won't change again and pull the plug on Jenni Co? But it does seem she's very clear she only wants to deal with people who are already very well off. Okay, let's start with the trust issue. So as I said, earlier, one of the reasons why I decided to do this pivot, I wasn't just going to pivot for sake of pivoting. This is why I let myself be uncomfortable and miserable and lose sleep for months and months and months, trying to figure out what I wanted, even though I wasn't completely sure when I started. I just knew that there was something better than Etsy, but I didn't know how I wanted to go about it. As I said, I've tried to start 4 businesses since the age of 19 when I originally realized I do not want to work in an office. I was working an internship that summer with my mom, so it was cake. And I hated it. I was like, this is horrible. Why do people come into the office? Like everything. The job was cake, guys. And I was legit like emoing out over how much I hated going into the office. Being 19 is just a magical time, isn't it? Anyway. But I knew then, and I knew an office job wasn't for me, and I knew that would be true my whole life. I just intrinsically knew. And that's when I started trying to start businesses. And that's around the time when I started talking about businesses all the time to people. And I realized it was a fascinating topic that I loved. I loved to learn everything about it. I loved to be told that I was wrong and figure out why and figure out like if I agreed with that. How many places do you love to be told that you're wrong so that you can learn more? That's weird. I'm not going to lie. You know how else I know? Like when people tell me how to, like I love container gardening. And when people tell me I'm doing something wrong gardening, I'm like, oh, tell me more. You know what I mean? It's like that. So this is something that has been a long time coming. I did not feel when I first started my business that I was qualified to do any form of business coaching because all I was doing was selling on Etsy successfully. And I'd had 4 previously failed businesses. I had no right to business coach. It did come across my mind like, oh, I would love to talk business with people. But my first thought was, I'm not qualified. So my brain refused to do that. So I started, teaching Etsy because I knew how to do that. And here we are today, years later. And it did take me time to figure this out. It did take me time to decide. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. You can ask Chris. I have said multiple times, I do not want to be the Etsy girl when I'm 40 because I knew that I wanted to do something bigger and better for the people that needed it or wanted it or whatever. So I won't be pulling the plug on Jenni Co. unless the only reason I will pull the plug is if my health fails. That's the only reason that I would pull the plug on any business. Okay. So if my health fails and I am not capable of doing a business, or I'm not mentally sound enough to do a business, that is when I will pull the plug. So that is the real truth and nothing but the truth. Okay. If I wanted to work another job, don't you think it would have been easier for me? I mean, she didn't ask this, but it's an easy way to pull the plug. Don't you think it would have been easy for me to go to a headhunter and be like, I run this big business. Here are all my social accounts. Here's all the things I've done. Find me a job, paying, God knows how much money. Everything. It would be really easy for me to go do that. But I chose to stay here because I know I want to work for myself. I know I don't want to work for an office or in an office. And I never want to entertain that in my life. That would have been the easiest way for me to pull the plug. But I chose to do this pivot and go through the pain of the pivot instead. I think that on its own shows a lot of commitment to doing what I'm doing and staying where I am, for sure. The other thing I could have done with the pivot is I could have said, okay, the tribe is gone, bye. But we didn't. Like, we're not here for that. We're not going to be like, the tribe is gone. Even if we wind up making $0.00 on the tribe because we're paying other sellers to teach it for us, like, I'm still not going to get rid of it. Yep. There's no reason. So, okay. Does seem, hang on, I have to hide your comment to read the rest. Does seem she only wants to deal with people who are very well off and want to be richer. Doesn't this have a lot of Tony Robbins of the secret type? Oh, yeah, I hate those little, gotta love them douchebag dude bros. Okay. What I'm giving, like I said, the advice that we're giving, we have to charge for our time. Like I said, we could have priced this so much higher. If I was going by what Tony Robbins charges, I'd be charging $100,000 a pop for something like this. Because don't think for 1 second he would ever sell something like this, nor would he price it where we're pricing it, right? I do think that I understand your point, but I'm trying to deal with people who are sort of at the point where they're not beginner business owners. I don't feel that those are the best people for me to work with because I'm thinking a lot bigger. And while I'm happy to add my 2 cents or give them courses where I've shown them how to think bigger, we do have those courses in the tribe, by the way, guys. Like, look under the courses section. It is in there. There's a bunch of mindset stuff in there. already, where I've shown you how to think bigger and how important it is. I definitely want to work with people who are ready to think bigger, because I need to keep my brain active and healthy too. I need to keep my creative juices flowing, because if I don't, what happens is I get sick of what I'm doing and I wind up thinking, and this hasn't crossed my mind yet, but I can tell you it will eventually happen. I wind up thinking, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. It would be easier to just be a waitress. You know what I mean? Those are thoughts that I don't want to have, because I know I don't want to work for somebody else. And when you're doing something that makes you miserable all the time, those thoughts come easy. So I have to keep my brain healthy and normal and functional. And I have to do something that I enjoy doing more than anything else, or as much as the things I love the most. And I don't want to be in a situation where I pull a Lisa Jacobs on you guys. That's what would happen if I kept teaching Etsy just me, right? So I hope that explains a little better. And like, yeah, we're not going the douchebag dude bro direction by any means. Like I said, if I had less of a money mindset problem, I would be able to charge, you know, 1/10 of their prices. We're not here for that. Okay. Oh, is this something I don't know? The name 1%ers doesn't sit well with me as a Bernie Sanders supporter. I'm a Bernie Sanders. What do I not know? Do we need to Google this? Becky, can you explain this to me? I don't know this reference. Please explain this to me. Okay. Thank you for this. I really appreciate the support. Tasneem, it's your business and you need to do what feels best for you. I totally get it. Thank you so much. I really genuinely appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Cats. Oh my God. Let's see. Okay, I'm a small Etsy seller and I need to learn to build. Here I'm speaking just for myself. I would have loved a platform that had info on Etsy like you guys did, plus how to go beyond once you're set. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I want to have 2 price points, so that we can have those people who are starting out not be priced out. So they want to have that lower price point with the courses and being able to watch the things or see the things that the other sellers are teaching in the higher tier, but still have it be, you know, within reason for sure. And then, you know, if they want to go past and go up in Etsy, they could go up a tier, they could move on to a different program, they could use 1%ers to move their stuff past that, you know. And here's a good one. But $2,000 to $4,000 for an idea. That's not what we're just doing in 1%ers. The business idea is literally what we're doing this month. Like coming up with your business idea that makes you happy. And it's like a tiny portion of what we're touching on. The only reason we're doing that is for the people that need it. As Chris said, there are people in 1%ers that have their idea, that are happy to go gung-ho on Etsy, or happy to go gung-ho on Etsy and some other thing that they've created already, that they're ready to just skyrocket, right? It's not an idea. It's more like immense support, learning how to change things in yourself and your business that make it easier. For example, next month, at the beginning of next month, is it almost September? Yeah. One of the things that we're going to be talking about is how can we pull more profit out of your business now without changing anything? Because we want to have you in the most financially sound place before we move forward with anything else. So one of those things that I really want to talk about with the group is how have we reduced cost? I want to ask them about their cost, where they feel comfortable, where they feel uncomfortable, how to replace a high cost with a low cost, when to hire versus when to not. We're going to do a huge live stream about all the hiring mistakes we have made, because we made a very big one recently. And we're going to ask people what they did as well and sort of help them figure out, is this person that you want to employ or that you may already be employing the right person? How do you fire someone if they're not? How do you find the right person? What do you do when you're in a situation like we were, where we were paying somebody a lot of money to basically hand us piles of crap? Yeah, not proud of that one. But sorry, Chris, did you have something to say? I saw you go.
I do, because and it's not actually for this question though, so I don't want to come in and confuse anything. So have you done answering that one?
Yeah, I was basically saying one of the things that we're also going to do, I think in September, before the end of September, is we're going to talk about how to create your ideal day now. even as things are chaotic and you may be doing new things and pivoting. Like, how can you take a busy business and make it fit into a schedule that you can repeat over and over again that works for you permanently? Because so many of us are stuck in this, well, I have to work more to make more. And no. We're going to flip that and show people how to take the day that they want, the tasks that they want, fit it into a month easily, and then not have to deal with the chaos of, oh my God, I forgot to do this. And oh my God, I'm waking up at 4 a.m, like, oh, I have to do this one thing. Because that is how a lot of people are running their business currently. And I don't think that it's healthy. And the longer you do it, the more it gets ingrained and it becomes the only way you know how to work. So we're going to stop that. And here's the thing. Some of these live streams, some people are going to be like instantly like, yeah, I got this, I'm good. And some of these people are going to be like, I'm really struggling with this. It took me a year to adjust my schedule because I was so freaking stubborn. In retrospect, I'm like, why did I put up such a fight? But I needed to go through that mindset shift and I needed to figure those things out. And I needed to argue with myself a little to be like, I'm making these assumptions that are not true. I need to try to push against them. And then I would push against them and feel really uncomfortable and be like, okay, I need to take a step back. I was really fragile at the time when I transitioned my business. Oh, apparently I have a phone.
That was loud.
So those are things that we'll be supporting them on throughout time too. Like, even though we're going to have things we're going over on a regular basis that are related to business and related to what 1%ers need, we're also going to be going through them. Like, some people may have trouble with this schedule, this profit thing the whole time, and we need to consistently help them. That's what 1%ers is about. Whatever speed you want to go, whatever you need support that is like a text away to help you figure that out. Because like, it's not straightforward. It's not easy, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be challenging.
I would just quickly like to address something that Tasneem has just said. Hi, Tasneem. It's good to see you here. Okay, so she said, I love what you have said, and I love you, Chris, big time. I love you too, Tasneem. Here's the thing. When I joined the tribe a year back, the tribe offered so much: weekly shop critiques, courses, feedback, etc., plus the community. Then you launched Power Seller, and it spread you too thin. The weekly live shop critiques, etc., stopped, and over time, the tribe was reduced in content and support. So if I didn't upgrade, I feel like I started getting less at the same price, and that disappointed me. No. Actually, that's not the reason that the live shop critiques stopped. The live shop critiques stopped. The live shop critiques stopped because nobody was attending them. That is the truth. At one stage we were offering the live shop critiques every week, and we were offering the feedback every week, and people stopped attending. And the problem with it is, and I'm sure you'll probably put it in a better way than I probably can, Jenny, is that the issue is that when you are then sitting on a Zoom call on your own, not waiting for people to turn up, you eventually get to that point thinking, in that hour, I could spend that hour helping somebody else in a one-to-one, or in that hour, I could spend helping other people doing other things. So it wasn't a case of the Power Seller made us, spread us too thin. That wasn't part of it at all. It was a case of, and I have always said, whenever we have released something new for the tribe, like, and people who are in the text group that we're using at the moment, I've said to people, if it doesn't get used and it doesn't get used frequently, we will take it away, because otherwise there's no point it being there. There's no point it being there. So that was the same with the live shop critiques. And I will say, it's not like it's not like people turned up once. People didn't turn up once, and then I was like, well, what's the point? And then took them away. That went on for about a good 6 to 8 weeks. And I know you watched all the replays, Tasneem, bless you. But I was just going to say that the only thing was, people also stopped submitting their stores. So I was a bit like, well, don't really know what to say. So that's why they were withdrawn. But that had nothing to do with Power Seller, and had nothing to do with us being spread too thin. It was just, well, maybe they're not required anymore. Maybe people don't want them anymore. And I think that was why they were removed. Jenny, sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I think could be adjusted to with this new format, because with having a multitude of Etsy teachers, we might also have a multitude of time zones. So the range of events could vary a lot. Like, one of the things that we've had trouble with as one tiny team is, how do we support all these time zones? How do we support all these people the way that they want to be? And it's like, a lot of times we will post polls like, when do you want these events to happen? And most people will answer at the time they already are. So we can't fix these problems. But yeah, like, these are all things like I'm not going to walk away from the tribe in the sense that I don't know what's going on there. I still want to help make sure this product is good. We're still going to continue to survey you guys and ask you how it's going. And if you're like, hey, why did this disappear? We'll examine why and we'll ask you, okay, well, people weren't showing up. What could we do instead? You know, what else would work? Could we have people submit their links in advance and then that person could do the shop critique live and then have the replay? Like there's a lot of ways that we could fix this, but we need to talk about it. This needs to be less of a one-way street, the tribe. And it's made me realize this creating one percenters is like they have so much input in what their program looks like. This needs to be less of a one-way street. This needs to be us having a conversation about what you guys want, because that's how you'll get something that is worth every moment to you, that you'll stay in, that you'll love, that will give you what you need 10 times better than what we were already doing. Like I want the new tribe. I literally want you guys to say, and this is horrible considering how much work we put into the tribe, oh my God, this is so much better. If I had known this existed, I never would have joined the previous tribe. I literally want you guys to say that. You know, it's just, there's no point in doing anything else. So please stay involved with us. Stay, like we will continue doing these Twitches. We're going to invite you guys to the Tuesday Twitches for the one percenters. They're like, some of them are members only, but a lot of them are open. Like they're still going to be available for you guys. Like tell us what you're thinking. Tell us on Instagram. Like we are on Instagram for sure. Tell us in the tribe. Tell the tribe coaches and the people who are teaching courses. Like give us your ideas when you have them and we will survey you a couple times a year to make sure everything's going well. Like, please don't ever hesitate to contact us and say, hey, why did this happen? You know what I mean? I definitely want this to be a collaborative process. And it can only be a collaborative process if you guys show up and participate. All of you guys here have done this, so you're clearly ready. So you are the people that I want to make happy. If you show up, you're going to get what you've asked for to the best of my ability. Just know that. So as long as you're willing to show up and have a say, I'm here for you. 1,000%. Okay. This I want to address because thank you for touching on this, Becky. I didn't know this. I don't watch the news. My husband watches the news, and with Corona, I had to stop. It was an issue. So I apologize that I didn't know this. Based on my Jeff Bezos reference earlier, you might realize that I already agree with you. We will think about the name over time. I do agree with you. But it does sound elitist and exclusion. What I think I was meaning with one percenters is that 1% of people are willing to push themselves to that level of going and just like doing everything they can for their business without totally sacrificing their own lives. And I'm not saying that you guys aren't one percenters. One percenter, from the way that I'm using it, is a want, a desire, a behavior. It's not an elitist thing. It's like, for example, you guys here care about what you're doing. Do you know how many people we work with in a day who literally say to me, how can I outsource this? How can I make more money? When I used to do like phone calls about Etsy a long time ago, I was on like some expert portal and people would ask, everyone who asked me was like, how do I get a sweatshop, do this, do that, and then run it through where I do nothing? And I was like, these people give like zero shits.
Yeah.
That was like, whoa, for me. They just wanted to use Etsy as a means to make them as much money as possible. They're the sort of people that are basically committing fraud on Etsy, because you all know that, especially back then, you're not allowed to do that. And even now it's a little shady, but you're still really not supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that wasn't how I meant it at all, for sure. I definitely think that what I mean to say is there's a certain type of business owner who thinks outside of the box and wants this to be what they do for the rest of their life and will do what it takes for it to succeed. That is most people here, probably everybody here. If you're willing to show up to an event like this and listen to me talk for, an hour and 10 minutes, you're already a one percenter, regardless of whether you join some program saying you are, from a mental perspective. Like, I know that you know, Becky, that not everybody is committed as you are. That's sort of what I was pulling on. And I will try to make that clearer in the sales page, because I don't want to sound elitist or like I'm excluding people in any way. I'm not. If I was, I would make our Twitch live streams, some of them, like all of them, completely private. just for 1%. And I'm not doing that. I'm not here for that. You guys will be able to see some of those live streams, not the ones we're doing for members where we're asking them questions and helping them with their stuff, but you will be able to see like the topic where we talk about, you know, our she who will not be named hire. That was terrible. You'll be able to see that if you so choose. I don't want to not share this stuff with you. Why
That'll
would
be a fun story. That will be a fun story.
Oh, it's going to be a very fun story. Okay, Chris, you were telling me I need to refresh the try page because there was a comment that wasn't working.
If you could just do that. And hi, Miranda. Miranda's just texted us just to go, hi, guys. Hi, Miranda. It's good to see you. Well.
Aw, Denise, thank you. I'm seeing, oh, that's so horrible. That should not be done. Still love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is there someone I missed, Chris, that my page is like just not refreshing?
No, it's just there is the comment. Do you want me to read it out to you? Would that be easier? Yeah. Let me find it. Have you got it there? Can you see it?
I don't have
No,
it.
sorry. Okay, sorry. Obviously, yours is not refreshing. Okay, it was Elizabeth. She went, I know the questions will likely be answered on the live event, which I won't be able to watch live. But what about those of us that signed up for the lifetime membership back when it was just Fuzzy and Birch? When Jenny introduced the tribe, she transitioned our membership, but now that she is transitioning away from Etsy entirely, I'm not exactly sure where that leaves those that already purchased a lifetime membership for a previous product that was billed as providing ongoing support. I'm not sure that archiving the stuff from the Success Tribe really provides that beyond the 6 months that are being promised right now. I understand that Jenny is making decisions that make the most sense for her business, but I just think it's something that should be taken into consideration and account. As
a lifetime member, you're going to get access to the tier of the tribe that is not the teaching tier. And if you want to upgrade to the teaching tier, you'll get a discount. But that tier is pretty much what you have now. Because what you're going to get from other sellers is shop critiques, worksheets, lessons, other things, the collective knowledge that the group has. You're going to be getting that in there, as well as the community that you already have, as well as the Twitches that we will be doing and featuring in the events section. So there's only so much that we can do, realistically speaking. And that what you're getting there is way different than what you signed up for a lifetime. Like if you signed up for lifetime, the tribe was literally 8 courses and that was it. 8 courses and I think a Facebook community. You're getting so much more for that lifetime, or for those people who are in, you know, a tier now that is an older tier. That's where you will be put automatically as well, unless you tell us you want to be put elsewhere. So you will automatically go into that tier and get that stuff as is, no changes, etc. So that is how that will look. And then for anybody who wants to be in the teaching tier, who wants to teach, we're going to let you do that as you please. Like I said, if you're in the teaching tier, you can make back your monthly fee if you want. So like for any of you who really, and remember, this is not going to be like, okay, I saw this comment here, that it won't be someone there, someone to still support us. We'll totally be supporting you, Tasneem, and that we are going to be vetting all this content and all these people. We're not going to just put Joe Schmo up in front of you to do shop critiques. You might be getting shop critiques from somebody with 20,000 plus sales. You know? You might be getting information from somebody who did better on Etsy than Chris or I combined did. You might also be getting information from somebody who's been a photographer their whole life and can show you things that you can do with your phone that you never thought possible. Like, I am not the sole source of knowledge, and neither is Chris. Please don't think that we're the only people who can do this for you well, because we're totally capable of vetting this and making sure it works for you. And as I said, as long as you're here showing up and telling us how you feel, we're going to consider your voice. If something does not go well for you, tell us. If something you really like and you want more, tell us. If there's one particular person or 2 or 3 particular people who are just killing it and you love all their courses, well, then we may need to reach out to them and say, hey, can we hire you part-time? Those are all things that can happen, but you need to tell us, you know? I definitely...
Sorry, I was just going to say, I'm already looking into ways to solve the shop critique issue for what Tasneem brought up earlier on. I'm just, as soon as Tasneem mentioned it, we're looking into it already. I'm actually already doing things actively to try and do something about that. Not entirely sure what it is at the moment, but I'm working on it, and I'll
yeah, like we're not going to just take this call and go, "Phew, that went well," and then walk away. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
We could just be like, "No, guys, this is what's happening."
Yeah.
We're not doing that. We're here to help you. We're going to try the best that we can, and we're going to build up what we can. And over the next year, like as it transitions, it's probably going to just get better and better. I mean, when have you ever been in a product of ours where we did not work to make it better and better? This is a huge part of what we're about. It has been from the beginning. That has never changed.
Yeah.
It's like we always love to iterate and update our products and find ways to listen to you guys and incorporate what you've said.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hence why we're on the live event here, and we've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. I don't think you and I have ever done ever in the 3
an hour and 45 minutes.
We're at an hour and 45 minutes we've been talking about this for. So yeah, so absolutely. So I really want to overemphasize that we've certainly not just looked at this and just gone, well, like that. We've really taken your comments on board, guys. We've really listened to what you've said, and and absolutely, and as Jenni rightly says, we do still want to help, and we do still care about you, and yeah, I could waffle there, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. So for the 6-month courses and the old courses, so the 6-month courses, we're going to take we have all those YouTube videos unlisted. We're going to package those appropriately in the tribe. So like the latest version of the 6-month courses are what you're going to get. If you want something else, tell us. But the most updated version is what's going to get packed into the tribe. And then the old courses are not going anywhere. So if you're in the tribe, what you're seeing now in the platform, my plan was to keep all that the way that it is and just add in more teachers that, are good Etsy, people who want to teach Etsy, people who have a skill. That was my plan. So I think you guys have been through enough change already. We're just going to try and keep things as consistent as possible for you as we transition. Unless we get to a point where, like, for some reason, Mighty isn't working for people, or there's no reason that we should make it more difficult than it needs to be. And everything seems to be working for you guys. That's why you're using it. So we're going to try and keep things as similar as they already are. You're just going to get these new coaches and teachers coming in for you that are actively selling on Etsy. So yes, I hope that helps. Yes. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're pretty good. Do you see anything else that I missed?
I'm just muting myself because apparently that we've got a bit of an echo on, and we think that maybe the echo is your voice coming through on my microphone. So I'm just muting myself just to make that easier. But there you go. So I'm just going to sit here and be quiet.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. So for any of you who are still having trouble or are not sure about what you want to do, new tribe, whatever, or 1%ers regardless, please know that Chris has kindly offered to open up some one-on-one slots to talk to you specifically about this topic, like how you're feeling, what's going on. Chris, if you have a link for that, would you mind dropping it? Or you can drop it in the private chat if you need me to drop it. I know your chat doesn't work.
I don't have that link just yet.
Oh, we'll drop that link in the tribe. Yes.
We've done that yet, but I will obviously.
Chris's calendar is crazy, so he has to set it up. Yes.
Sorry. I'll get that set up this weekend. I'll get it set up ASAP, and I'll create an article in the tribe, and then obviously you can book it up. Obviously, the only thing I would say is please be aware that the spots are on there are limited. I'm not opening up to like 600 spots because I will die. But so what I was just going to say was, but it's there if you are frustrated, you're wanting answers, you want to speak to me or anything like that. Absolutely, I am going to open that up there for you. The only thing I say to people is if you do book in, just make sure you're aware of the day and the time you book in, just so that, you're definitely there. That's all. Okay.
Yes, definitely. I hope that helps. We are here for you. We want to create something amazing for you. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And let us know your thoughts. We're here for you. I hope that you guys feel better. And I hope that everything is clear. And I will always support you in your business, no matter what you decide to do. And I really appreciate the show of support that we have gotten from all of you today in our business and all of this stuff. I appreciate all of this. I did not feel judged at any point. So I really do appreciate that as well. And thank you guys so much for actually being here and tolerating us for as long as we talked.
Thank you, guys. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.